Hey guys, this is Aaron from Silversmith Productions. Today's episode is with Running from Daylight. And me, I'm not running from daylight. I'm looking at this. If you enjoyed the meat, and if you enjoyed this interview, hit the like button, as well as a subscribe button and notification. And follow us on our social medias like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all that fancy stuff. And remember, have a good day. So let's start off with you guys introducing yourselves.
Sure. I'm Garrett. I play upright bass and Running from Daylight.
I am Andrew. I'm the lead singer, and I also play some rhythm guitar.
I'm Troy. I do some backup singing, and I play lead guitar.
I'm Tarek. I do the drums.
All right. And I am Aaron Kramers, and with me, Justin Smith. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're doing good. Keeping as busy as we can through the quarantine. We're all on our own, and all self-isolating. So we'll see how rusty we are once this is all finished up.
How many songs we forgot?
Tarek.
Like how, like you guys are handling the quarantine, like as, like not like as a person, but like as like a musician.
Well, I mean, in my case, I'm finding actually with not as much driving back and forth to work, I'm actually getting more time to practice. So that's been really nice, actually. Although we all miss band practice. We all live well, two of us live out of town, so we have to travel quite a bit anyway to get to band practice. So we don't get to practice as much as we want to normally, but hopefully we'll get back to it quickly. We'll pick everything back up quick.
Yeah, I've just been practicing all the time and like working on new songs and stuff like that, but not a whole lot has changed really, because all aside from like missing band practice and not being able to do shows, like I suppose that was a big part of being in a band. But
Yeah, it's definitely been giving all of us lots more time to play music, just not play music together. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, it's nice to have all the extra time to play music, but we haven't been able to play anything together. I don't know. We haven't really dabbled in trying to like live play anything like over Zoom. I don't know how that even worked, but yeah, that's what it's been. It's funny. I've talked to a bunch of musicians, and it's all kind of the same boat. Like, everyone has so much time now to like play and do music stuff, but so much of music is collaborating with other people, which is really hard to do right now.
I tap on my legs a lot more than I used to. It's hard to find a time when I can play drums because they're so loud in the where I'm staying right now. So I tap on my legs, tables, nearby walls, incessantly, and everyone hates it except for me.
What advice would you give to someone who isn't really that good with handling like long-term like self-isolation? Like
the way I've been dealing with it has just been to play a lot of video games.
I was just about to say, find something that you like doing and do it. Try to not dwell on the negatives, but find positive things to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think like the best thing is just to be good to yourself, because it's like, I don't know, it's a tough time and there's, a lot going on, and it's, I don't know what it like. So I'm the same boat. I like playing more video games and stuff like that, and then sometimes I like feeling guilty, like I should be doing like these inspiration things on Facebook that I'm seeing, and then I'm like, no, I don't feel like doing that. And like, I'm just gonna be cool with doing what I need to do to like pass the time right now while I'm stuck inside. And like, I don't know, I guess that's like the biggest thing that I'm just trying to work on, is just being kind to myself in like the way that I think of myself, or like my inner talk. I think that's definitely helpful. And then probably something good to just keep continuing on throughout past isolation, and just be kind to other people. It makes everyone just feel good. It's nice. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't really top what Andrew just said, so I don't have any additional. What Andrew said, you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
You grow a wicked awesome isolation beard like Tarek is right now.
Oh yeah. The neglect. Absolutely. Calling your grandmother or any extended family member is really stuck inside and afraid. That can also make you feel good.
I've also been finding that I'm reaching out to a lot of people that I wouldn't have necessarily normally been like chatting with over Facebook or text or whatever. And it's been really nice to rekindle some of those friendships.
Yeah, that is true, Garrett. That was a good point. I have a good friend in Australia that I'm like really good friends with, who used to live in London, and like I've been having Zoom meetings and stuff with him now, but like I never was seeing him before this anyway, because he was in Australia. So it's kind of funny how like this has like just been like, oh yeah, we could just like have a Zoom chat with each other to catch up, Like I wouldn't have been seeing him anyway.
What games have you been playing lately?
I figured if there's not a better time to resubscribe to World of Warcraft.
Oh, nice.
That was awesome.
Other than that, I don't know. I play Overwatch sometimes. I get mad at Counter-Strike sometimes.
I usually play PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds just because that's what my friends play on PC. But with the extra time I've been having, I started playing this game called DayZ. Again, it's like a zombie apocalypse game, so it felt kind of fitting for the time. So I've been playing that too. And I also got my girlfriend hooked on Stardew Valley, which I've been watching her play a little bit. It's like this farming game. It's a pretty cool game. That's a good time killer if you want to kill a bunch of time. Is play some Stardew Valley. I literally think I can hear her playing it right now. I can got that theme song from it stuck in my head now.
Nice. I'm about 130 hours deep in Pokemon Shield right now, and I think I don't know if you guys remembered the N64 game Star Wars Pod Racer. Did you guys play that at all?
Oh, yeah,
Back on the N64.
That's a classic.
It was it's being relaunched on the Switch and PS4 in a couple weeks, so I'm going to be sinking some hours into that as well.
Nice.
And that game was so good. I forgot about that game. It was ahead of its time as far as like I remember I used to like spend so much time like trying to get all like the perfect right parts and everything for like your pod. You know, you had to like go like barter with like the different guys to get like the different parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Because that was like ahead of its time kind of because now like every game is like that. It's all about like grinding for like the parts and stuff like that, and they're like the different things, but that was the first one that's like that I remember doing that in.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to finish my thesis, so I don't play too many games right now because if I play games, then I won't finish my thesis, and long-term Tark would be upset with short-term.
Fair enough. What bands influenced you the most?
Does anyone want to start?
All you, man.
Oh, okay. So when I was a teenager, I got really into heavy metal and particularly like 80s thrash metal. And that's kind of where I've always come from musically. And that's sort of where a lot of things stem from. So in terms of bands that actually influenced me, like I was really into Metallica because that's what my guitar teacher had me listen to. But other 80s metal bands, I don't know, Megadeth, Anthrax, I guess Pantera was more in the 90s, but you know, things like that. Metal from the 80s and 90s, but not so much new metal, like none of that.
No new metal. Well, one of my biggest influences for psychobilly music, at least, is the Brains. I've been listening to them for quite a while, and they're another Canadian psychobilly band that I really like. Like in high school, I used to listen to a lot of Tiger Army. It's another psychobilly band that was a big influence on me. It was like the first psychobilly band that I heard and like kind of introduced me to the genre. So I used to listen to them a lot, but that kind of like through them, they were a gateway to other psychobilly bands. And luckily here in Canada, we actually have we have a really good psychobilly scene, a lot of good psychobilly bands. So through the Brains, I got introduced to like the Creep Show, another cool Canadian psychobilly band, and Ray Gun Cowboys. So I would say those are like my biggest influences as far as the music that we write as Running from Daylight.
Yeah, Green Day was the band that really got me into music originally. So from there, I kind of started getting into more punk music like Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys, Rancid, Operation Ivy. From there, it kind of branched off into Celtic and ska music like Dropkick Murphys. And then I kind of just I got into psychobilly when I was going to school in London, catching shows at Call the Office for the Creep Show, the Matadors, the Brains, people like that. And that's really what got me into the genre as a whole. I'd say my biggest influences psychobilly-wise would also be the Brains, Creep Show, and Ray Gun Cowboys.
Yeah, most of the bands listed are kind of the same for me. When it comes to psychobilly, Coughing Cats, Necromantics are two other bands that I like. But the Brains and Creep Show are two great Canadian examples that are, yeah, in a way, something that I'll try to mirror when drumming. because they're good examples of the genre.
The music video for Elvis Ain't Dead Yet, and how both the song and the video come about.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I could start with this one. So the idea for the song was just kind of like a fun one that I think Garrett and I have been toying around with. We didn't really talk about this in the last question, but Elvis is kind of a little bit of an influence for our music. If you go far enough back, you could trace any rockabilly or psychobilly music to specifically Elvis, and it's definitely an influence on my singing style. So another theme that you'll see a lot in psychobilly is zombies or horror or different things like that. So we thought it would be fun to kind of combine the two of those together. And then one of the themes of our music specifically is that it's kind of campy. It's horror, but it's not gory, actually scary. It's kind of playing on it and being fun with it. So
Scooby-Doo horror.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo horror. So the idea is kind of Elvis comes back from the dead as a zombie, but he just wants to party like he did, at the end of his life, which was kind of his unfolding or downdoing. And when he comes back to life, they think he's just going to be this rock star, but instead he's just a zombie that wants to party. So that was kind of
So that's kind of where the music video leads into. The whole concept behind the music video for Elvis Ain't Dead Yet is that zombie Elvis, kind of crashing a house party, playing beer pong, partying with the band that's there, and partying a little too hard if you watch all the way to the end.
How did recording that differ from recording the new EP?
So with Elvis Ain't Dead Yet, we recorded all the songs at the same time. So we did all the drums at the same time, all the bass, all the guitars, all the vocals. But then with the new EP, what we did is we recorded batches of songs at a time. So we did three songs through mid-2018. And then the other three songs we did at the beginning of 2019. So it gave a bit of a different vibe in two senses. One way, we were able to work on specific songs a lot, in a lot more detail, because we were only working on three at a time. But at the same time, it also made the different songs, the two parts of the EP kind of branch out into their own thing a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely broke up the recording process, and I don't know, it kind of, like Garrett was mentioning, it did split the EP up, at least for me, and the feeling of it between the two different sessions. So it was, I don't know if I was a huge fan of doing it that way for that reason. Just kind of how it worked out timing wise for us, but in terms of how it kind of ended up splitting the feel of the EP up, it was different. So I was more of a fan of doing all the songs at once. It definitely is interesting to see how you just get a different vibe from different times and how that affects songs. And it would be really interesting to know if those songs would come out differently if they were recorded at a different time. Just kind of something interesting to think about for sure.
What gear do you use?
I'll start off this one. So my go-to guitar that I usually record with is my Gretsch. So it's a silver sparkle Gretsch hollow body, which is pretty common for the psychobilly genre. Most people are rocking Gretsch hollow bodies. They're pretty cool looking guitars, and they have that distinct psychobilly sound. So that's usually what I'm recording with, and I'll frequently play with it live, but sometimes I'll also play with Jazzmaster, which is a Fender Jazzmaster. I'll play that live. Sometimes the Gretches can be a little hard to tame in the live setting because they get a lot of feedback from being a hollow body. And I usually run that into a Fender amp as well. Hot Rod Deluxe actually is the specific tube amp. So that's my setup. I use a few slapback pedals and one distortion pedal, but nothing too fancy. That's the nice thing about psychobilly music.
Yeah, so I guess since we're talking about guitars, I'll go next. I use a Fernandez guitar, which is a brand I hadn't really heard of before I got one, but I saw a used one for sale, and it was a really top quality guitar. So I picked it up, and I've held on to it ever since. And I use actually the same Fender Hot Rod amp that Andrew does. Right around the time I joined the band, I needed to get a new amp anyway, and someone in the neighborhood was selling a used Fender Hot Rod. And so I got that, and it's in fantastic condition. And then me and Andrew got to play on the, well, we still get to play on the same, like, you know, really classic kind of amp that's got a really famous sound that it's sort of known for. And then I use a metal muff pedal. I'm not really huge on pedals. That's about it. That's me.
For upright bass, I use a full-size Galveston bass. With Vic pickups. Vic is the bass player and frontman for the Coffin Cats. He makes his own pickups. So I bought one of those, and I run that into a Sansamp pedal and into a Galen Kruger 500 MB amp.
I have a sonar kit. I think it's a 2700 with maple shells, and I like to put like the Evans Onyx black skins on it and gives it like kind of a deep sound for what's otherwise like a jazzy-ish kind of kit. And then
they also look badass.
Yeah, they also look, yeah, and it matches our logo, the black and white thing. Yeah, so it looks cool, which is the most important thing. It doesn't matter. That's and then a custom cymbals. Oh no, actually no, the ride is different. No, the ride's a K custom. Actually.
What do you miss most about performing live?
I can start because I have perhaps the most fun when we play live, and it's a great, like, you know, time to hang out with friends. It's a fun social experience, and definitely right now I miss that aspect of just being close to friends and playing music loudly and making jokes and laughing. Yeah, I think that's the biggest part. It's just missing hanging out with you guys.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's like just a lot of fun to play music live. So even if even if it's just the four of us playing together, it's a lot of fun to play. So it's really hard to pinpoint one specific thing. It's really just like the actually doing it. Like it's probably like one of the worst parts of like the self-isolation or whatever is not being able to jam and play music with other people or for other people. It's like way more fun when you do it with other people music. It's like on a whole different level how much fun it is. So
absolutely, we all we all do the band because it's fun. So it really does suck having to take that element of playing together out. I also found with live performances in general, it's been frustrating not being able to go see other bands too. Like there are a couple concerts I remember earlier this winter that I really like. I was planning on going to, and then like Daya was like, I'm tired. They'll come around in a couple months, so I'll see them then. And now it's a couple months, and now I can't go to any. It's really really disappointing.
The same as you. I was gonna go to 2 shows in like the last few months, and they were canceled, of course. And then I have tickets for other I'm sure they're all gonna get canceled over the next month at least, I would imagine. But that sucks. Maybe not. I don't know. Playing music, of course, together is like the best thing. But second best thing is going to see other shows. So that sucks not being able to do that.
Sucks not being able to go, the bar and grab a drink and watch like live music or something like that. It's funny how much you take that for granted. I definitely won't be taking that as much for granted once, you know, things get back to normal, stuff like that. Gotta give a shout out to the Richmond Tavern, definitely missing it. I drove by it today, like I had to go out and pick up a package, and like I took the long way home, just like drive by the Richmond Tavern and like look at it. I'm just like, I miss that place.
I miss Richmond Tavern so much too.
Yeah, drove by it and drove by Call the Office, are two biggest haunts just to look at them, see how they're doing.
I just hope all these great music venues stay in business after this is all done. Like must be beyond stressful for those venue owners, and I just hope everything comes out well on the other side for them.
Do you see yourselves doing anything with social media, like a live stream performance or something?
we've had a few different projects that that have been going on. First thing that we've really been doing with social media is we've got a lot of friends who take music fairly seriously and are missing out on income because of this. So we started this new thing on Facebook called RFD's Quarantine Band of the Week, where every week we're featuring a different band that we want to help support, one of our friends or a band that inspires us that we want to help support. I've been working on some like upright bass playthrough videos, which will hopefully start going up sooner or later. I believe are you guys working on any cool live stream projects, Andrew or Troy?
Sorry,
you know
work
what?
on something.
I kind of was thinking about that yesterday. I was like, you know what, this is gonna go probably on for a while, so maybe I'll like record an acoustic song or something like that. I don't know. I'm always like hesitant to do that because I don't know. A lot of our songs are hard to translate to that, and like I like playing with everyone, so there's like maybe a few that would translate okay that I've thought would be maybe fun just to put something out there, but I don't know. It would be cool if we could do something like Garrett just did a song, like a cover song. I know that like a bunch of people recorded on from all over Ontario, and that would probably be the ideal thing if we did something. It's like all recorded on our phones and somehow mixed it together.
Yeah, that was awesome. Wait, was that a Rancid cover, Garrett?
Yeah, it was a Rancid cover. He did that with Lee Resistant from Chatham and how do you pronounce that? Cajones? Cajones?
Cajon.
Cajon? Cajon player from North Bay. Lee asked me to join that to play some bass for him because first person he had lined up wasn't able to do it, so I recorded that on the weekend, and then within a couple of hours of recording my part, Lee put all of our videos together and posted it online, and it's been doing pretty good so far. Lee Resistant is a good musician, and he's fronts of punk band from Chatham, Lee Resistant and Lost. They're definitely a good band to check out.
I won't do any social media stuff unless Garrett tells me to do it, because I barely know how to use social media as is. So Garrett will send me a link, and then he'll have to send me instructions on how to use the link. And that's the only way.
Fair enough.
It's hard enough to get in touch with Tarek.
I got nothing going on. I do nothing. I show up where the band tells me to show up, and I do music things.
What was the experience like recording at the music farm?
I can start with that one. I really like working with Ryan. So Ryan's the owner, producer, engineer, wear many hats at the music farm. And he's a great guy to work with. The biggest thing that always stands out to me with Ryan, and like that I'm sure anyone would say, is his work ethic. Like the guy is like just loves all kinds of music, especially punk music, and he's there for like, you can tell from the second you meet him and start working with him that he's there because he loves what he's doing, and like he's super committed to getting like the perfect sound, getting everything right, like even more so than the band sometimes. Like he'll be the one to be like, we need to do that again, or like, you know, even when the bands are ready to be done with it, he's like 100% invested into getting a good sound. And one of the cool things that he does is he's all about doing like setup scratch tracks for everything. So instead of just doing like a guitar scratch track, he'll do scratches, you know, for the bass, all the guitars, the vocals, and everything, just so that it gives you like the perfect set of scratch tracks for the drums to be tracked to, and also like really helps iron out everything ahead of time so you can make sure that everything works together. Yeah, nothing but good experiences for me working with him, and I've been really, really happy with, you know, everything that's come out of the music farm.
Oh yeah, everything that's come out of the music farm has been fantastic. We've been really happy with the experience we've had with Ryan. He puts all of his effort into your music, and there are like some studios where it's like by the hour and then you feel rushed to get things done. It's not the case like that at the Music Farm. It's all about getting it right at the Music Farm, which is a good trait to have as a producer engineer.
I've always really liked working with Ryan. He tinkers with all the drum mics endlessly, and it makes it a lot of fun to just try things that you think seem a little bit unorthodox, but end up sounding quite good. So I've always enjoyed working with Ryan. He's a very, very nice guy too. It's always enjoyable.
I like Ryan. My favorite part is just kind of like hanging out with him afterwards.
Yeah.
Hanging out with him afterwards, or like just seeing him being in the music scene in London. It's always really exciting to see him places.
He's done everything. Like he lived down in, I'm pretty sure it was in SoCal for a while, teaching recording arts down there. And like he knows everyone. Like I'm pretty sure he's been to like Fat Mike's house and things like that. It's pretty wild, all the connections he has in the punk scene.
Andy's also been in like a touring punk band too, so he knows like he's not like he's just like that kind of producer that doesn't like understand the musician side, because he did that at one point. So he's done everything in the business. It's pretty awesome for the London scene, and like in particular that we have someone like as knowledgeable and experienced as Ryan, like that. And also because of the way that he does his studio is like affordable and approachable for pretty much any band in London, realistically, that wanted to record something. Like it's awesome. It's super lucked out. You could spend like honestly so much more money than he charges to like at another studio, and probably would not get the results like that you would from Ryan. So I can't say enough about how good he's been.
What's it like being a part of Missing Fink Records?
It's been great. The head of the record label, Johnny, he's a great guy. He I got in touch with him after Elvis Ain't Dead Yet came out, and just sent some of my music in just to get some feedback on it. And then within 15 minutes, he responded and invited us to join Missing Fink Records, which was pretty cool to get that kind of response out of the gate. And they're a boutique record label out of Georgia that specializes in vinyl releases. So that's why we've released Elvis Ain't Dead Yet on vinyl, and the split with Doghouse Rose, that's also through Missing Fink. We have our new EP, Horror Scream All About It, coming out in vinyl. It was supposed to be April 2020, but with everything going on, it's being pushed back a little bit, but we're really excited to get those in our hands. And there's been some compilations that came out. We had a Christmas compilation that came out called A Spooktacular Christmas that was released earlier this year, or I guess end of last year. And there's a couple more coming out to stay tuned for. There's some cool bands on the label like Messer Chups and all of their side projects. The Hurricanes are a rockabilly band from Scotland that I'm a big fan of. Doghouse Rose has released a vinyl on Missing Fink Records, and it's really fun to be, because we were, I think, their fourth release. So it's been fun to watch like the record label grow from like right at the start, and you're not going to find a more supportive indie label than Missing Fink Records.
Aside from the upcoming vinyls that you've mentioned, is there any other ones?
Yeah, so we have that new EP, Horror Scream All About It. We have there's going to be a surf themed compilation coming out called Creature Surf and Shindig. That one, I think that one will be out summer this year, hopefully. And then there's supposed to be a Halloween one that they're just getting into preparation right now.
As far as our music goes, like we've got a few songs in the works, like that kind of been trying to work on, but they're kind of has really put a hold on, us working on music together, especially since our kind of like writing process is that one of us will kind of bring a skeleton of a song to the rest of the group, and then we'll like iron the rest of the song out together. And that's what I think we've found to be the best writing process for producing our best songs, is doing it that way. So it's been kind of, this whole situation has put the hold on us working on music together for anything to release in the near future.
As a band, like, how do you guys like plan out like your shows, like logistics wise?
It depends on the show. There's two types of shows, right? There's shows that we get invited to, either by a promoter or another band, and those shows are quite a bit less work because we're kind of more just responsible for our aspect of the show, like playing and bringing our fans out. And then we also organize quite a bit of shows at venues such as Richmond Tavern. Those nights I would be organizing the whole night, so I'd be booking all the bands, setting up the lineup, and then we'd be really spearheading the promotion of it. And then so that's whenever we're organizing a show at the Richmond Tavern, that's typically how we do it. And it's went really well. Richmond Tavern treats us really good, so it's been a good partnership between us. I feel like once this is all done, like we're gonna have to get together for a good jam session, write some new music, and we'll have to have one big banger of a show, probably at the Richmond Tavern. With everything going on right now, it's hard to really commit to dates or anything, but if people are keep paying attention to our Instagram and our Facebook page, all of our information, all of our show details go up there, so we'll be sure to keep everyone in the loop, and we'll have one big shindig party to celebrate the end of shutdown.
Yeah, I think like we're pretty happy with how things were going before. So, you know, hopefully we can just get back into the swing of things once we can. And other than, you know, the obvious big banger blowout party that we'll definitely have to have, featuring some adult beverages and all the fun stuff like that, I think we'll just try and stick it out and keep going with what we were doing, because it seemed to be working for us, and most importantly, we were having lots of fun doing it. So,
what are some ways the fans can support you guys while they're stuck at home?
Check us out on Spotify.
Yeah, you know what? Like for us,
our biggest like online store, I guess, is probably on Bandcamp. We have all of our music available there digitally, as well as some CDs and vinyl. For CDs, we have our album. We have Elvis Ain't Dead Yet. We also have a single for Elvis Ain't Dead Yet, and a split that we did with Doghouse Rose called Never Been Sicker, which you'd find our song Whole Damn Bottle on.
Cool.
Yeah, also like if you just want to check out too, like anyone wants to check out our social media pages, you know, toss us a like or comment, like if you heard a song, but that also, like, we always really appreciate that. It's nice to hear from people, and like Troy was mentioning, you know, just bumping us on Spotify helps out a lot too, because then, you know, we start getting featured in more playlists and things like that. So all those things are like super helpful. People got extra time at home for, like, you know, any of your favorite bands, just giving them that extra like or comment, even just to let them know that, like, you're listening and enjoying their music. It's a good time for that, you know, now more than ever. We also got these dope new hoodies too, so those aren't on any stores or anything like that, but if you're in London, I've already had some people, I've just been doing like curbside drop-offs of them, so if you're a hoodie fan, they're super comfy.
Yeah, nice. Just shoot us a message on Facebook and we'll be sure to hook you up.
What other bands or acts would you recommend fans of your music to check out?
I really like Doghouse Rose.
Yeah.
I also have shirts from the Gutter Demons. So those are my two picks right now.
Absolutely. I agree with Troy. Doghouse Rose and Gutter Demons are both fantastic. We've been playing quite a few shows with House of Haunt recently, which has been a lot of fun. They always put on a great live show. In London, like, pick your poison. There's so many good rock and punk bands. The Back Nine, Tracker, Mad Moxus, you name it. There's also cool thrill show acts like Phoenix Fire. He's been a really big supporter of us, and we love performing with him. Lee Resistant and the Lost, another good punk band. And then all those psychobilly bands that are kind of in the same spot right now and aren't able to tour, the Brains, the Creep Show, Ray Gun Cowboys, all those guys that need support now more than ever.
We often play with Electric Dead, like another kind of gothic rock band, horror rock band out of St. Catharines. They're awesome.
There's another fun band we've played with before that are just so exciting, and they are Cyphier.
Oh, yes! Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
That's
awesome.
Cyphier. Tarek loves the heck out of them.
Oh, yeah. That was performance art. Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah, those are all, like, I would recommend every one of those bands. I guess a cool artist that I think people should check out. That's a little bit of it on a different note from what everyone else has been saying. I've been listening to a lot of this guy is Orville Peck. He's like a country singer, Canadian country singer, but he kind of like meshes his music with a lot of other different genres. Specifically, he does a lot of like 80s mashups with country, which is like something you wouldn't really ever think of, like those two genres coming together, but he does a really good job like mashing up those two genres together. It's making some like really cool country music and kind of like making country a little bit relevant again for people that maybe don't like country music, because country music's a really cool genre, and there's a lot, like I think there's like this kind of like aura around it where people are used to like the bro country that's on the radio right now, and you either hate that or you love it. But country music's such a cool genre as far as like storytelling and like all the old really cool country musicians. So anyway, I would say check out Orville Peck, and maybe you'll see why some people like country music so much.
Another big pillar of the London punk rock community that everybody should check out is 63 Monroe and TVD. Both those bands are fantastic and kick a whole lot of ass.
Is there anything you guys would like to add before we go?
Party on, Wayne.
Yeah, thank you very much for having us, guys. And it's really cool that you guys are doing these and trying to do like what you can to help out the music scene, like in general, and like also in London, because it's a hard time for all of us musicians without anyone to play music to or play music with or talk about music. So it's been fun chatting with you guys, and I guess I would just end on saying thank you very much, guys, for having us on and letting us chat about music. Yeah, thank you so much for having us, and hope you guys are staying safe and healthy through this time as well. It's been rough on everyone. 2, 3, 4.